So once you've created a new client, if you've requested for that client to complete the pre-screening questionnaire, you can view their results by clicking on the assessment tab, so either from the main dashboard or from the top menu. So when we click into the assessment tab, and when we click into the particular client that we want to see, basically from here we can view both their pre-screening and also their tracking sheet. Now, if they haven't completed the pre-screening questionnaire, the software will say that it hasn't been completed yet. But we can still preview the questionnaire by clicking on the preview button here. And this will show us what the client has to complete. Now, the first part of the questionnaire is simply them filling in their name, their date of birth, and their gender. Okay. Part 2 and Part 3 relate to risk stratification. So specifically, Part 2 looks at if the client has any known medical conditions, whereas Part 3 looks at risk factors that may place the client at a higher risk. So if the client answers yes to any of the questions either in Part 2 or Part 3, a warning sign will come up that basically says the client should seek medical clearance before they proceed with any nutrition or exercise program. So pretty much Part 2 and Part 3 of this questionnaire are compulsory. Now Part 4 of the questionnaire is in relation to goal setting. So specifically, what is the client's goal, why that goal is important, what time frame they've set for themselves, and things they may have tried in the past to achieve this goal. Part 5 looks at the client's lifestyle, so specifically their occupation, their stress level, their sleep, and things of that nature, libido. So it currently looks at their current lifestyle. And then Part 6 looks at their exercise and nutrition history. So what type of exercise they're currently performing, what type of nutrition plan they're currently performing, and it asks them to pretty much list the meals they're having throughout the day, as well as the type of training program they're doing throughout the week. And Part 7 of the questionnaire is basically a readiness assessment questionnaire. So this basically assesses the client in various fields such as their nutrition, supplementation, training, lifestyle, so forth, how willing and ready they're to change in each of those respective areas. So by knowing which areas the client's more willing to change, then it gives you a better framework to work with that client to help them achieve their goals. So that's a pre-screening questionnaire. We can also look at the tracking sheet from here, which they complete every 5 days to 3 weeks, depending on what tracking schedule you set for that particular client. So every time a client logs a new entry, and they'll generally be sent an email prior to or on the day that they're required to fill it out, and it basically looks at, so we'll record the date for which that entry has been logged, and then it asks them to assess their training, their nutrition and supplementation on a scale of 1 to 10 as far as how compliant they've been throughout the week with each of those or in each of those areas. Then it also looks at various biofeedback markers like their stress level, their sleep quality, the duration of their sleep, their energy levels, their libido, their digestion, and their hunger. Now these are all biofeedback mechanisms or markers that are telling us what's taking place with that client. So that way it gives us an indication of whether the plan that we're using for that client is sustainable for them or whether it's pushing them out of balance and there's something that we need to change with their plan. So it's useful to be administering that at least on a weekly basis with each of your clients so you can keep track of what's going on. So later when you look back through their plans, you know what's working, what isn't, and if something's working or it's not working, then you have a better idea of why it's working or why it's not working.